welcome. Today I want to talk about how to lose weight and stay slim after 60 and not count calories. I'll cover three main areas: diet and how to manage hunger, increasing muscle mass and reducing the eating window. In terms of diet, I follow a low carbohydrate diet, and to lose weight I make sure I eat less food than I ordinarily would in a day. I don't eat sugar or foods that contain sugar. I was for many years a sugar addict, and it really affected my health badly. I avoid carbohydrates in the form of bread, pasta, rice, and carbohydrate-rich vegetables such as potatoes. In other words, I don't eat foods that pump out insulin. If you want to know more about the metabolic pathway associated with insulin, a researcher called Professor Ben Bikman provides very useful information and advice associated with metabolic disorders and why it's important to avoid sugar and high glycemic carbohydrates. I'll leave a link to a video interview about this topic in the description box below. I limit my alcohol, or I'll have a glass of wine about 3 times a week. I rarely eat fast food. However, if I'm at a function or some sort of celebration, I might have some carbohydrates, although as little as possible. And if there's a cake, for example, a birthday cake, I'll have a piece of that. The next day, however, it's straight back onto the wagon. On a day-to-day basis, I avoid any foods that will make my insulin levels increase rapidly, because insulin facilitates fat storage. So that then raises the question of what I do eat. Number one for me is protein. There's quite a good video that covers the signs of protein deficiency, and I'll link that video below. Proteins such as eggs, chicken, fish, beef, pork and lamb, for example, also contain fat, which satiates hunger. I have protein with every meal, which is 2 meals a day. I don't have breakfast. I also include a variety of non-starchy vegetables when I eat protein. There are many nutrients in vegetables that are incredibly good for your health. I always eat vegetables with protein because this boosts the levels of nitric oxide by the endothelial cells which line our blood vessels. These endothelial cells contain the enzyme that produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates the blood vessels amongst other critical functions, and a Nobel Prize was won for this important discovery in 1998. I'll link a video below in which that Nobel Prize winner is interviewed. The next thing is I have sauerkraut most days, and only the one I make. I've made a video about how to make sauerkraut, which is linked in the description box below. Every week I make bone broth using chicken bones in the pressure cooker. This is really nutritious, and it's something I have almost daily as part of my lunch. That's if I have lunch. If I have salty food, I make sure I drink lots of liquids that dilute the salt levels in the blood, because it's been discovered by Professor Rick Johnson that salty foods can trigger a metabolic pathway that leads to fat storage. Professor Johnson has stated that a low carbohydrate diet protects you from fat storing metabolic pathway activation by removing those foods that lead to fat storage, i.e. fructose, high glycemic carbohydrates, salt, and to a lesser extent umami foods. I will link to that video below. Next I need to state that I only eat if I'm hungry. I also don't reduce my food intake for days on end. Never more than about 4 days in a row, otherwise the process just wouldn't be sustainable for me. And then there's managing hunger. A key to losing weight is managing hunger. One of the main things that triggers hunger are sugar and carbohydrates, which I no longer consume, other than the carbohydrates and fibre-rich vegetables. I notice that if I eat more protein, I don't tend to get as hungry, especially forms of protein with higher levels of fat in them. But I still get hungry from time to time when I'm trying to lose weight, especially at night. So I look for foods that I find are satiating. For me, that's cheese and nuts. When trying to lose weight, I'll make sure I don't have too much, just enough to satiate hunger and get me over the line until I go to bed. In relation to exercise, I go to the gym 4 times a week and then ride my bike twice a week. At the gym, I tend to do weights, no HIIT, no cardio. Gym is geared purely towards building and maintaining muscle mass. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. When I ride my bike, I'll generally ride about 20 kilometres. I use housework as exercise because, in my view, any movement is good. So exercise for me is a habit. I don't need to use discipline to get to the gym, it just happens. For me, the best time to go is in the morning after my morning coffee. A really good video about how to gain strength and muscle mass is a video in which Professor Andrew Huberman interviews Professor Andy Galpin, who is a researcher specialising in muscle physiology. I'll leave a link to that below in the description box. The last main area I want to talk about is the eating window. I don't get hungry in the morning, so I'll only have coffee before I go to the gym. And I can't drink black coffee, so I'll put 2 teaspoons of cream in my coffee, which has some calories. Reducing the eating window really has worked for me. If I have a kilo to lose, I'll not eat until 3 p.m. for about 4 days in a row. Then I might do another 4 days the following week. I make sure to eat to satiation and not more, with a focus on protein and low glycemic vegetables. Occasionally I'll have some berries. I will strategize about my eating approach, one day at a time. I'll visualize, for example, how I'll avoid eating until 3 p.m. So to achieve that goal, I'll visualize only drinking coffee in the morning and then mineral water after that. Professor Andrew Huberman talks about the benefits of visualization to assist with behaviour change. I'll link that video below in the description box. And there we have it. Those are my strategies for losing and maintaining weight after 60. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when a new video has been uploaded. Thank you for watching.